Testing one. Testing. 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 Testing 1, 2. Alrighty. Testing 1. We are going to. Can I hear myself? Alright, sounds good. Hopefully I'm not crackly today. It started crackling a little bit the other day whenever I was on the microphone. But anyway, this is our flight plan right here. We are going to send Quintin to Los Angeles. Okay, let's look at this real quick. So this is where we're going to. We're going from 10 Quintin Military Airstrip. And we are going to just a simple flight plan here. Going to Bahia de Los Angeles Airport. And that's all, you can look right here, that's all in Baja, California. And on our way down to South America. So what I want to do is I want to set the, and I did an IFR, and we'll see how that goes, but I just did an IFR plan so we're not so lonely. We got somebody talking to us maybe, but we'll talk about the landscape as we go along and see if we can see anything interesting. But anyway, I want to set the altitude to 9,000, and I have the altimeter set to 2994, and I think let me go ahead and get my Xbox controller. Okay, we got the Xbox controller here. I wanted to go down just a little. Okay, that way. Okay. Go down just a little bit. It's about, I set the time to about 5:30, about 5:40 in the afternoon. And you can see there the windsock right there. Let's go ahead and step out of the plane real quick. Just look at that real quick. Got the windsock at a little bit of an angle there, so a little bit of a crosswind. You can see that windsock right there is pretty much in the air. And we're leaving San Quintin. And you know, I was looking on Wikipedia, and San Quintin does have a population of about 4,000 people. So you know, it's a little populated there. You know, probably a really nice area to live, because the temperatures are pretty moderate because of the ocean, but still warm and a lot of abundant sunshine. So anyway, let's go ahead and step in our plane. I want to go ahead and take the brake off. We got everything else. Well, we got, you know, all the lights on. We don't need pitot heat. And anyway, go ahead and take off. So now our takeoff, our rotation speed is about 55. Our best angle of climb is 62. Best glide speed is 68. Best rate of climb is 74. So what we want to do is we're going to go ahead. I think I already announced it, but we'll go ahead. So I'm going to say we're
Sierra November Quebec traffic Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie taking off runway 28 departure to the south.
The, rudder pedal brakes, and now full speed on the prop, and then release the rudder brakes, and a little bit of left rudder right here. And so we got the airspeed alive, 40, and we'll go ahead and start rotating, and rotate, and autopilot engaged. Now engage the autopilot, and what that kept, that's kept my roll and my pitch. I'm going to synchronize my heading. So synchronize, just push the button there, synchronize your heading there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a flight level change. That locked it in at 86 because I was going to 86. And then we'll hit the heading. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to nose up a little bit here. This brings down the speed when you nose up on the flight level change. going to nose up to about where the Y is, and that's the best rate of climb, or the best rate of climb. So now we'll go ahead and we're going to go ahead and turn left using the heading button. So you hold down the shift key on your computer keyboard, but you can rotate a lot faster. So I'm going to rotate that, and we're going to go ahead and rotate all the way. We're going to try to catch, well, we're not going to try, we're going to catch that that nav right there. And I'm going to go ahead and engage the nav. And okay, so the nav is already engaged. We were close enough to it that we can already, so now we are flying off the nav. And basically what we're going to do is climb to 9,000 feet. And this is real-time weather. Back off a little bit now on my mixture. And we're catching the nav. It's just a straight shot. There's San Quintin. I'm escaping from the San Quintin prison. No, just kidding. The San Quintin prison is far away from here. This is San Quintin, Baja, California, which is probably a really nice town, actually. Don't know how much of a tourist town it is, how many tourists that they would see. But there is a population there. A little bit of cloudiness here in Bahia, California. This is real-time weather. I did back up the time a little bit so that we'll have daylight for the duration of the flight. Actually, I think at this time it's probably already dark there. I was looking at actually on Sky Vector. It doesn't have very much information, but it does have information on some of the mountains. And the tallest mountain in Baja, California, I think is about 10,000 feet, and that's well behind us now. You can see, well, actually right here on the map right there, it would probably be to our east there, where the highest mountain in Baja, California is. And Baja, California, we just left San Quintin. And San Quintin is the city in San Quintin Municipality, Baja, California, located on the Pacific coast of Mexico. The city had a population of 4,777 in 2011. San Quintin is an important agricultural center in Baja, California. The city is also an emerging tourist destination. Okay, so I take that back. I'm saying probably not very many tourists, but it's saying that it's an emerging tourist destination. And I would imagine in the ocean right there, that would be a really nice area to visit. And probably not tourist trap type place either. Probably pretty reasonable price-wise. The city is also an emerging tourist destination known for its sand dunes and beaches. Okay, so it does have sand dunes here. So it's got quite a bit of history there. Now we're looking at a river. It looks like a dried up river there out of our left window. Kind of going across there. And going back to Baja, California. So the Baja California is actually the upper portion of that peninsula that goes all the way down, and it's the northernmost and westernmost of the 32 federal entities of Mexico. Before becoming a state in 1952, the area was known as the North Territory of Baja California. State has an estimated population of 3,769,000 people as of 2020. And the lower half of the peninsula, of course, is Baja California Sur to the south, and it's sparsely populated in comparison to it. What I'm planning on doing on my flight to South America is I'm planning on flying to de Los Angeles here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to fly from Baja California to you know what, we'll go ahead and tune the center right there.
Mazatlan Center, Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie is at 4,800 feet, climbing 9,000 feet.
Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie, Mazatlan Center altimeter 29.9 for continue as planned.
Okay, so that will be that. 29er. And anyway, what I was going to say is this right here is a map of where we are. This is San Quintin right here, and what I'm wanting, this is Sky Vector, of course, as you can see. And what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to fly to de Los Angeles. It's about right here, and I do want to talk about these islands right here. Actually, I can talk a little bit about these islands on this flight too, since we have so much time. But what I want to do is I want to land here, and then I'm wanting to fly. We'll go ahead and fly to the Gran Ignacio International Airport here, the Hermosillo International Airport. And so this is basically my flight plan to South America. I just want to go from major airport to major airport. So we got this one right here to that one, to that one, to that one. This right here, let me say again, this is the Baja Sur, California. So this is the lower half of Baja California as compared to the upper half right there. The upper half is more populated. But anyway, and so on. And I want to, just hit some of these weather stations and all the way down to South America, all along the coast there. And there's some of the driest places on Earth right here, right around Peru. Of course, we'll be flying to the east. We'll see the Andes Mountains, but just wanting to fly all the way down to there. This right here are the Falkland Islands. Now, all of that fighting that was going on in the early 90s with Britain and Argentina, it was over these islands right there. So anyway, flying all that, and then all the way back up, all the way back up, and all the way back up. We'll probably go along, I don't know. I haven't decided whether we're going to go back this way. We'll probably go along this way right here, fly along Cuba, and then maybe to Cancun, and then all this way, and then back to the United States along the coast there, and then all the way up here, and then we'll fly back. But that's going to be a lot of flights. So, back into our plane here, backing off a little bit more now on the mixture. We're still on our climb right here, the best rate of climb. I'm actually exceeding that just a little bit, so probably go nose down a little bit. Probably about 75 would be our best rate of climb. The best angle of climb is whatever you need to get out of a steep area quick. So you use that X right there as your best angle of climb. But we want the best rate of climb, and basically what the best rate of climb is achieving 9,000 feet at the best rate possible. So down below us now we have Magnificent Desolation. Magnificent Desolation. That is a famous term. Actually, when Neil Armstrong landed on the moon, he said, "One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." Well, when Buzz Aldrin first stepped on the moon, he was the second man on the moon, and he looked at it and he said, "Magnificent desolation." And that's basically what this is here. This is magnificent desolation. So, really not a whole lot. Let's go ahead and jump into the drone. And I'll straighten that out a little bit there. Drone kind of got askew a little bit. But there's our plane there. And if you press F6 on the drone, that speeds it up. So we'll go ahead and press F6. And we're now just about to ground level here. And then we can see magnificent desolation. I'm trying to straighten it out here. So there's some roads, I guess, that some people traverse. So you can see the trails along there. And on and on into nowhere. There's probably not a whole lot of population right here. Let's go back into the plane here. There's a few roads down there. Baja California is the 12th largest state by area in Mexico. Its geography ranges from beaches to forests and deserts. The backbone of the state is the Sierra de Baja California, where Pico del Diablo, the highest point of the peninsula, is located. And like I said, the highest peak, Pico del Diablo, is the highest peak on Baja California, measuring about 10,157 feet. So in the northwest, the weather is semi-dry and Mediterranean. In the narrow center, the weather changes to be more humid due to altitude. It's an area where a few valleys can be found, such as the Valle de Guadalupe. That's around Ensenada, so that is actually north of where we are. And then to the east of the mountain range, this Sonoran Desert dominates the landscape. And it gives way to the Viciano Desert. So I would imagine that we're probably going to be going a little closer to the Viciano Desert. Baja California is also home to the Guadalupe Island. And let's see if I can find it. Anyway, I was looking for a map on the Guadalupe Island. It's a volcanic island. got the. I'm thinking. Maps. Maps. What I want to find. This is where we're flying over. See that? This right here. This is Baja California Sur. So you can see that it's two states right here. But there's the Isla Angel de la Guarda, and then the island Tiburon. I'm not sure where the Guadalupe Island is, but anyway, I'm hearing some changes now on my plane. Yeah, we're about almost to altitude here. Outside air temperature is 12, so pitot heat is not needed at all. Got some interesting looking landscape there. And where I am right now is we'll go ahead and let's see if we can change the map here to right down here in terrain. So we took off from San Quintin. Let's see, San Quintin, Baja California. That's where we took off from. And we are probably now over this area right here. So that would be El Punto. Our destination is Baja de Los Angeles. So basically a straight line from here to here. We'll be going over, we'll have the Peninsular Ranges to our left. We'll have, be going over these areas here.
Alaska 1389er climb and maintain flight level 400.
And,
7 Charlie Charlie, please expedite your climb 9,000 feet.
We're almost there, lady. Why is she so impatient? We got a 12-knot tailwind. We are at the best rate of climb. You can see right here.
Alaska 1389er climb and maintain flight level 400.
Where this little bug is, and that's right where our Y is. That's the best rate of climb. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that Isla Angel de la Guarda. And we're almost to altitude, but this island right here is a pretty huge island there. And another island right there, the Isla Tiburon. Well, I was looking at that. Guess what the population in those islands are? Now, I wanted to compare that real quick to Guam. Okay, Guam, of course, everybody knows about Guam. And I have some friends that are from Guam. And it's got a, I want to look at the geography.
Alaska 1389er climb and maintain flight level 400.
Guam is 30.17 miles long and 4 to 12 miles wide. It has an area of 212 square miles, 549 square kilometers. And it's got a population, let's see, demographics. It's got a population of about 168,000 as of 2020. Well, anyway, the demographics there of Guam. Again, 212 square miles. Well, the Isla Angel de la Garda, that one that we looked at, and that would be, so we are just about at altitude now, and we'll go ahead and I'm increasing the power a little bit here so that we can take advantage of the higher altitude now and try to increase our ground speed. In a thinner atmosphere, the ground speed should go a lot quicker. But looking at this map right here, this is the island that we're talking about, and this is the other island. And I just wanted to talk about the geography of this island. This island is 931 square kilometers, 359 square miles. Whereas Guam is 212. And the Isla Angel del la Garda population, as of 2020, 0. There's nobody that lives there. And the reason why there's nobody that lives there is because of one main ingredient that Guam gets a lot of, and one main ingredient that Isla Angel de la Garda doesn't get. And that main ingredient is water. So I thought that was really interesting. And then if you look at that, there's another island right there. And then that other island is the Tiburon, Tiburon island. And that one's even larger. That island is, well, 464 square miles. 464 square miles. And so that's even larger than the other island. And you want to know what the population of that island is? You guessed it, 0. It's also a very barren, waterless island. And it is open for, people camping or going on expeditions and things like that. And it is open for tourists, things like that. But as far as people actually living on there, it's not occurring. So right now we are flying over. There should be, sure, I'm trying to get a bearing exactly where we are here. There's a couple of lakes right there. I got north up right here, and one of those lakes, that's Laguna Chapala. And the other lagoon is Laguna Intermitente, probably intermediate, Laguna Intermediate. But those are about, except for maybe one more smaller lake, those are about all the lakes that are there. to the left of us. Go ahead and look to the left there. You can see a few mountains, and that would be the Cerro Picacho del Diablo, and a mountain peak in Baja, California. Boy, my drone is like off to the side there. But let's go back to the plane here. The photos
7 Charlie Charlie, you are 115 miles northwest. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors. Visual runway 15 approach.
15 approach. Okay, so
Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors. Visual runway 15 approach. Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to set up our flight plan. So procedure, select approach. It'll be visual 15. Press enter, and we'll go ahead and do straight. So we'll press enter there, and we're going to go ahead and load that. And an obstacle clearance is your responsibility, basically what they're saying there. Okay, so now our top of descent, what we're going to do is we're going to actually start descending to Bravo Hotel Lima. That's the call sign to about 3,000 or 2,900, about 3,000 feet there. And so we got the final approach fix for 500, about 500 feet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and now assign, this is just assigning our altitude to 500, put down 500 feet. And we're going to go ahead and arm our vertical navigation.
Alaska 1389
So I'm going to go ahead and
maintain
arm
flight level
that. So now our vertical path is armed. And then when we get to our top of descent, which is about 44 minutes away, we can see there's our top of descent right there. Then the vertical flight path will become active. So we got a little ways to go. I did the IFR on
Alaska 1389 climb and maintain
with the
flight level
Microsoft Flight
400.
Simulator. You look to the left there, you can actually see some of the water now. We were talking about those mountains, that's right.
Alaska
And so those
1389
mountains,
climb and maintain flight level
that's the
400.
Sierra Pacho del Diablo mountains. And looking at our drone here, let's see if we can go ahead and F6 and just go ahead and freeze the drone here, let the plane fly by. We'll be back. But I just wanted to see if I could, it's not really flying. F6. See how fast this
Alaska 1389 climb
drone
and
can
maintain
fly.
flight level 400.
So we're going actually quite a ways away from the plane here. And I don't think this is the highest peak. I think the highest peak is further north. But here are the mountains right here in Diablo, or no, the Cerro Picacho. So those are some pretty significant mountains there. And then you have the desert, and then of course the California, the Gulf of California right there. And so there we go. And that would be the Cerro Picacho del Diablo, the Parque National Sierra de San Juan Pedro Martyr. And that would be it's basically the name of the national park there. And so there is a national park, and they actually have an observatory there, a national astronomy observatory in this area. So that's pretty interesting. Probably not one of the points of interest with Microsoft Flight Simulator, I don't think. but maybe in the future. But at this point, they won't have. I don't think I don't know if we can find the observatory where the observatory would be, where we can pinpoint that. But it's somewhere along here, and that would be certainly a perfect place to put an observatory because of all the clear weather here. And we are quite a ways away from the plane here, so. And there's a few trees around here too, which is really interesting. But where the observatory is, I do not know. And so going back to the plane now, so that would be all of that back there. So we can see water on that side, and we can see water on that side as well, at this height, at 9,000 feet. So heading pretty much south to Baja, California, and we can see water on both sides. Hopefully I'm not coming in garbled or hopefully the sound is coming in okay. I just wanted to test real quick and see how it's sounding. Testing 1, 2, testing 1, 2, 3. All right, and so far it's sounding pretty good. As far as what I can tell. Bringing the drone back down to closer to ground level here, and a little bit of wind blowing around. I don't know if some of these hills right here are actually volcanoes. So probably where we're going would be giving away to some of the much drier desert, or maybe that would, I'm not sure whether Viscano Desert is here, but one thing on Google, okay, now that would be on the west coast, so actually the Viscano Desert would be in that direction, which is one of the drier deserts. There have been some earthquakes in Baja, California. Yeah, 2010, they had a 7.2 magnitude, 7.2 on the moment magnitude scale in the Mexicali Valley. It's like a highway right there. Not exactly sure which one. There's some activity going on. Looks like those people right there are drag racing. Look at that. Come on, guys. A little edifice right there. That looks like that would be Highway 1. Trying to find it on Google Maps. Yeah, I believe that's Highway 1. Some really dry patches around here. Let's go back to the plane. What I'm wanting to do is I'm trying to find some of these right here, these little mesas, and they kind of look the same. I'm trying to kind of figure out where we are over the desert floor there. I'm pretty sure that highway back there was Highway 1. I don't know if we're going to actually fly over the lakes that we were talking about or not. There is a lake close to Bahia de Los Angeles that we'll probably be flying over. And that would be Laguna Agua Amarga. But those other lakes, the Laguna Chapala, we'll see if we fly over those. And then the Laguna Intermitente, I'm not sure if we're going to fly over those or not. What I want to do is I just kind of want to raise the elevation here and see if we can spot those lakes. Not very many lakes in this part of the world. Something that we take for granted a lot are lakes. And I'm not seeing, I can't even see any. I know there's a couple of them there, and I believe that right there, that's the Isla Angel de la Garda. That's it right there off the coast. See it right there. So I'm going to go ahead and fly the drone a little bit further north here. I think we got the highest speed. Just clear weather all the way around. I mean, a little bit of a haze, but look at this. There's a really dry spot right here. I don't know if that might be the lake, one of the lakes, and just dried up. I don't know. But okay, here are the lakes. And again, I'm not sure if we're going to be flying over these lakes. But there they are right there. And so this lake right here to the right, that is the Laguna Intermente. And in the lake to the left is the Laguna Chapala. And don't know what kind of water, you know, how fresh the water is or anything. They're not very big lakes, but they are lakes nonetheless. So we're quite a ways away from there. It's like some sort of mesa right there. We should have more definite information on what that is. I don't think there's even a name for it. It's just one of the mesas of the many mesas that are around in Baja California. And if you want to take a look at it real quick, if you're on the ground, stop the drone here. It's basically what it would look like from the ground. And it doesn't look like there's any kind of roads or anything that would go to it. So if you ever wanted to go to something like that, it would be a hike. There's kind of a road there. So I don't know, maybe there are a few roads that would go to it. That looks like that might be Highway 1 there, so who knows. Anyway, back to the plane here. So a little bit of cloudiness there over the Pacific. You see a few clouds over there. But where we are, I mean, it's completely clear. Getting a little bit closer now to the Gulf of California. You can actually see these lakes on our map here. Those are the two lakes. So we will get a view out of it, of those two lakes. Right now we have about 18 knot tailwind, but a crosswind nonetheless. I'll go ahead and synchronize my heading again. That's our heading. This is our route. So those lakes that we saw when we get there, I don't know how many nautical miles we would be from it. This right here is a 25 nautical mile range here. So but when we get to it, that's probably about what? Guesstimated about maybe a 10 10 nautical miles, 15 maybe. But when we get to it, of course, we'll see it out of our right-hand window here. Let's see if we can spot those lakes. We have about 26 minutes until we start descending, and we have 36 minutes estimated time of arrival to Bravo Hotel Lima, and then we'll go ahead and go along this flight plan here to land on runway, what did they say, runway 15? See if there's any frequencies here. There are none. So 15, there's 33 and 15. Kind of zoom in a little bit. So that's basically that. There's not really a whole lot of information. Bahia de Los Angeles Airport. So this airport, or this Los Angeles, I should say, is significantly smaller than the Los Angeles that's in California. You can see some of the islands right there off the coast. That island that we're looking at right there, that would be the Isle of San Luis probably, which is not a very big island at all. There's about 4 islands there off the coast. And then of course the larger island being the Isla Angel de la Garda. So those are some of the smaller islands there. We are over, again going over some mountain areas. There's I think there's a dried up, let me go ahead and go back into the drone here. I think this is actually a dried up lake right here. And that would be Laguna Chapala. Laguna Chapala. And basically, a campground, camp in the sand, and watch out for the scorpions, I suppose, and the rattlesnakes and whatnot. That's a dried up lake. See, with Microsoft Flight Simulator 10, none of this was possible. To actually go over an area and actually spot an area that's really there. Now that might be Highway 1 that's going right by there, I don't know. Switch it to satellite mode on, yeah, that's probably Highway 1 there, it's going right by there. But with Microsoft 10, it'd be going over fictionalized demographics of a landscape. It might have had some of the elevation there. I tell you, the drone, I hate it whenever it goes like that. It never did that when it first came out. It does that all the time now. I don't know if there's a way to fix it or not, to where it just, you can automatically level it out. But at this point, I can't level it out. So going back into the plane here, let's see if we can see that lake. Looks like we can. It's like the lake right there. And then again, that the one to the left, this one right here, that will be the Laguna Chapala. And then the other one will be the Laguna Intermittente, Intermittente. So it's almost like straight overhead, actually. A few canyons there. You see a little bit more now of the Gulf of California. Like a dried up riverbed here. I wonder if sometime in the past that this area was more green than it is now. Can you imagine if this area was green and it had a lot more rain, how much more populated it would be? It just amazes me that Guam is such a small island compared to the islands here, those two islands right there, and even that island there. And yet the population of these islands that are much bigger is zero. So it's just very interesting. So now we can see the lakes. Let's go ahead and use our drone again. And where's my plane go? There it is. So catch up with the plane here. Kind of go in that direction. There we go. A little ways to go still, actually. It looks like a little bit of a riverbed there going toward the lake. There's no information on Wikipedia for these lakes. Go ahead and freeze it there. Looks like we're hitting some thermals here. Really adjusting our speed here. I think the other thing too is we're flying over mountains, so a little bit of turbulence going on right now. Still at 9,000 feet. We are 19 minutes now from top of descent, and we'll be going down at a 3-degree angle. There they are. That's the first lake, I believe. Oop. Find a there's the first lake, and then the second lake right there. So not very many lakes on this part of the world. In this part of the world. There we go. That's a good shot. Go back to our drone here. Turn it around, see if we can see the plane. There it is. Go ahead and back up. View the lakes overhead here. So that's where we are in relation to the lake. Let's go back into the plane again. So the drone is right around here somewhere. That's a really cool shot. I really like that shot there. First lake, second lake. That's the first lake, and then the second lake there. It's like a, look at this right here, right in the middle. You wonder sometimes, and I know in New Mexico there are volcanoes that are this size, and I'm wondering if these are volcanoes as well. It doesn't have any kind of identification. There is, by the way, according to Google Maps, there's a restaurant, NVIDIA Chapala, which is not too far away from the lagoon of Chapala Lake there. So somewhere around here is a restaurant. My favorite is Arroz con Pollo.
Cessna 7 Charlie, Charlie contact, Mazatlan Center on 126 decimal tree. Good day.
Back to the plane here.
126 decimal tree Cessna 7 Charlie Charlie. Mazatlan Center Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie 9,000 feet.
Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie Mazatlan Center altimeter 29.87 continue as planned.
2987. So there they are. One of these days, I guess after we land, maybe we can get a rent-a-car there and drive to that restaurant there, according to Google Maps. On their menu, they have the Rices Quesadillas, the un combo, the Chiquilas Quesadilla, and Huevos Rancheros. And, you know, looking at the pictures right here on Google Maps for that restaurant, that looks like some authentic Mexican food there. Really looks good. Me and my wife, we ate at Azteca today. And I had the arroz con pollo. That's one of my favorite dishes. I always get that all the time. And I ate it all today. I was hungry. I didn't eat any breakfast because we knew that we were going out. And it was good food. So if you're ever in the Seattle area or Tacoma or Bremerton, be sure to go to Azteca. That's just like a word of mouth thing. I am not getting any sponsorship or anything from Azteca. And so there we are. It looks like some pretty arid land there below us. Look at that landscape there. Isn't that incredible? Just incredible. We'll go down a little further here. So, going again back to what Buzz Aldrin said. Magnificent desolation. But in this desolation, there's plenty of atmosphere. And even though it's hot, there's plenty of life that can be lived here in this desolation. It's really, really cool, you know. And one thing that I haven't noticed here, which is a good thing, I think, is I don't see any minefields where they're mining things, you know. Yeah, the one thing about electric cars, and of course electric cars is a good thing, but they're digging up a lot of earth to get those batteries, and in those batteries, the lifetime, they do have a lifespan to where they get to a point and they're no longer productive, no longer keeping a charge. But I said all that to say that they dig up a lot of dirt just to make one battery. But this area right here, it looks pretty much untouched. I don't know if there's any kind of minerals there.
Charlie, descend and maintain 5,300 feet.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and descend.
Descend and maintain 5,300 feet, Cessna 7 Charlie.
We'll go ahead and just, she wants me to
Cessna
descend.
7 Charlie, descend and maintain 4,700 feet.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say acknowledge, and I'm going to cancel pipe following. Because I want to descend whenever we reach top of descent.
Cessna 7 Charlie.
So we are going to cancel IFR.
Mazatlan Center Cessna 7 Charlie. Cancel IFR at this time.
Cessna 7 Charlie, IFR flight plan is canceled. Radar service terminated. Squawk 7000.
Squawk 7000.
Frequency change
So,
approved.
VFR, if you hit VFR, it changes it to 1200. But here, the squawk is 7000. And then that's it. So we really don't need IFR here. The reason why I set an IFR plan is mainly she tells me what approach to set up, and then, but weather-wise, IFR plan definitely isn't required. So we are now 9 minutes to our top of descent. And again, I'm going to bring this down to 500. So that the reason why I did that is because our final approach fix is 500. And then when we hit our final approach fix, we should be able to use our approach mode. See now, let's go to the drone here. Oh, right in the mountains with that drone. But anyway, going back to the plane here, and then go ahead and F6 to speed it up a little bit, going a little further down. But what you can see there now off the coast, you can see the island Angel de la Garda. It's also called the Archangel Island. And it's the second largest island of 11 midriff islands, or Isla Grandes. It is part of the state of Baja California, located northwest of Tiburon Island. It is a biological reserve called Isla Angel de la Garda National Park. The island is part of the Mexicali municipality. And the population, demographics, it says population, 0. So nobody lives on that island, even though the island has an area of 359 square miles. The highest elevation on the island is 4,281 feet. We are now 7 minutes, about 7 minutes, top of the descent. There it is right there, you can see. It's a pretty big island. The geological active Balanas Fault runs along the seabed of the linear Canal de Balanas. A 6.9 magnitude earthquake occurred on this fault in 2009. The island is extremely dry with no resources of fresh water other than washes following rainfall. It has an area of 931 square kilometers, 359 square miles, and a chain of mountains runs along its 69-kilometer length, reaching a maximum of 1,305 meters, 4,281 feet above sea level. It runs northwest to southeast. The west coast is roughly straight in that direction, but the east coast runs inward near the middle before heading outward until it reaches the island's widest point. The coast then runs south for a while before finally returning to the southeasterly direction. Much of the island is inaccessible due to mountains at or near the shore, especially on the west coast. That's what we're facing right now, is the west coast. There are few flat areas on the coast at the outlets of washes that were created by sediment. These alluvial fans are mostly on the east coast, but a large one is found on the west coast where the island narrows in the middle. Much of the island's geology is made up of volcanic and alluvial sand deposits. And it does have a biology. There's bats there, there's rodents, there's feral cats, and there's apparently there's a wood rat that's unique to the island, and that's the Neotama Insularis, whatever. It's a wood rat that can be only found on that island and nowhere else. So that's interesting. A little bit of desert there. We are now 4 minutes and 32 seconds. So now I'm looking at Google Maps again. I'm wanting to figure out, I think that desert area is the Valle Laguna Seca. Valle Laguna Seca. The Mesa de Ube, that's what that area right there is. It's basically just a desert area there. There's no further information on Google Maps. There's also the Valle Agua Amarga, or Agua Amarga. And the closest highway that's running along here is Highway 12. Of course, our destination is Bahia de Los Angeles, which is, let's talk a little bit about our destination real quick. We do still have some mountains ahead, so we got to certainly be concerned about our altitude as we start descending. But anyway, Bahia, Los Angeles is a coastal bay on the Gulf of California located along the eastern shore of the Baja California Peninsula, state of Baja California. The town of the same name is located at the east end of Federal Highway 12, about 42 miles from the Parador Punta Prieta Junction on the Federal Highway 1. The area is part of the San Quintin municipality. So that's interesting. We just left San Quintin, and that's part of the San Quintin municipality. Look at those red rocks there. Isn't that just amazing? But in that town, tourism, especially ecotourism and nature education, is very important to the community of Bahia de Los Angeles. There's a combined natural history museum and cultural history museum in the community. This small town is the headquarters for access to many islands of this part of the northern Gulf of California, and noteworthy for the World Heritage Site designation by the United Nations. So that's pretty interesting. Look at that, and that's just gorgeous. We are now a minute and a half from top of descent. We do have a good crosswind now, 21 knot crosswind. I believe that the elevation is going to be okay, but look at that sky vector here. This is the mountain set of mountains that we're going to be flying over. And we got 4,000 foot, 3,000 foot. Our destination, or is that? Our destination is about right here, I do believe. So anyway, going back to the plane now, it does sound like we are now descending. We're just about to our top of descent. I'm really going to have to watch the altitude here because we're talking 4,000, 5,000 foot peaks there. I believe we're over that part that we saw on Sky Vectors, this part right here. And I do believe that that's pretty much behind us. And the only thing that we have to worry about is this section right here. And we are now at top of descent. And so we should start speeding up. We might have to reduce power a little bit, but I think we're doing okay. We got a good 20 knot crosswind right now. I'll back off on the prop just a little bit here. Testing 1, 2, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing. Okay, so my sound sounds okay so far. I don't have any of that crackling noise. Backing off a little more on the power. Now we got to watch that right there. Let me go ahead and go back to Sky Vector here. So that would be, that's pretty much, that's the last set of mountains there. I think that would be this set right here, right? So you're talking 2,000 feet, 1,000, 2,000. I think we'll be okay. See if we can contact the airport there. That would be Bahia de Los Angeles Airport.
518 descent and maintain flight level 360.
We didn't do anything on flight radar yet. Wanted to check that out. So Airy, it's A-E-R-O. E. I don't see it. A-E-R-O. E-N. Nothing. I was looking on Flight Radar 24 and I didn't see anything there. So that would be A-E-R-O. Looking at Google Maps or Google. Aryan laces. 518.
Airwind laces 518 descend and maintain flight level tree 60.
Okay, so according to Google Maps, that is a plane going, it's a Viva Aerobus going from Guadalajara to Los Angeles. And so that would be VIV 518 maybe? Let's see if I can find it on Flight Radar. VIV 518. Okay, yeah, that's an Airbus. It's an Airbus A320. The call sign is VIV 518. I don't know if we're going to see it from where we are. Probably not. But anyway, so yeah, look at those mountains there. A little bit of a concern there. I just want to make sure I keep an eye on that. But we're going to go ahead and talk the traffic there. Select runway for landing. It'll be runway 15. And we're going to do full stop landing. And we'll announce her position.
Bravo Hotel Lima traffic Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie 11 miles northwest 6,100 feet inbound to land runway 15.
You know what I might do because of that? I'm just looking at that mountain there. I just want to make sure that I do clear it. Zoom in here. So we're going to be going right over there. If I have to, I will do an altitude hold. But it looks like what we're going to do is we're just going to go right over this set of mountains here, which I think will be okay. And then we'll go ahead and circle around this way, and then we'll come around and head to runway 15. So yeah, that plane's going from Guadalajara to Los Angeles. The landscape is just incredible around here. I am a little concerned right here. I think we'll be okay. Descending over terrain can be really tricky. One thing that they say on this is obstacle clearance is your responsibility. It looks like we're doing okay though. I'm going to go ahead and back off on the speed. The atmosphere is getting a little thicker now. So what we're going to do is we're going to start floating to our left here. Yeah, that thermal, you can, it's kind of, we're bouncing around now from the you know, the turbulence off of the mountains. This right here is our runway. That's our destination. And we're going to be heading to runway 15. I'm thinking that we're still too high, actually. I'm slowing her down now. Here we go. We're going to start our turn. We're supposed to be at our final approach fix at 500 feet to 3,400 feet now. I got mixture now at rich. We're going to go to straight and then circle around. Look at that island there, isn't that something? I gotta watch now for these clearances over here. I think we'll be okay. You can see right there, that would be the higher elevation, and we're pretty much in the green the whole way through. So we should be okay. Keeping an eye on it though. Still descending right now. Once we pass straight, I'm going to try to hold, do my approach hold there. We are 0.4 nautical miles. Okay, we are now just about straight. Okay, we're flipping around now. I'm going to go ahead and arm my approach. Glide path is armed. I'm going to go ahead and back off on the power even more now. We'll zoom in a little bit now on our map. And then now you can see our glide path now is active. So we are following now our glide path. I'm going to go ahead and put my first set of flaps. Go ahead and bring it down to the G for our best glide speed. Another set of flaps there. Adjusting power now accordingly to account for the drag now created by the flaps. Still descending. We are not on the vertical navigation anymore. We are now on the glide path. Look at the runway here. There's our runway.
Bravo Hotel Lima traffic Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie is on upwind runway 15. Bravo Hotel Lima traffic Cessna November Charlie 77 Charlie Charlie is on final runway 15 to land.
Flaps full. Just now about to our final approach fix. We got a 6 knot crosswind. About 11 knot crosswind actually. bring it down to about the glide speed there. Doesn't look like a very big runway at all. I do believe it's paved.
500.
Yeah, it's a very skinny runway. And I still got that 11 knot crosswind, so it could be a tricky crosswind or tricky landing here. Flying by hand now. Well, I tell you what, it's quite a wind there. That was kind of a rough landing. Look at that windsock there. It's just off to the right there. That was a good crosswind landing there. I think I landed a little hard there. You could hear just a clonk whenever I landed. But let me go ahead and do the flaps up now. And I don't know where we're going to park. I guess just somewhere in the sand there. So here we are in the evening time in Bahia de Los Angeles, and we're gonna go see if we can find those museums. And you know, what was it that they said that they had there? The couple of museums there for natural history. Wonder if we can park. I don't even see any fuel there. We have any fuel around here? Maybe at the other end. This is actually a pretty long runway. You can see how this runway is kind of sloping downhill a little bit. So yeah, I'm not sure where to park here. Let me go ahead and stop real quick and take a look at my drone. There's not really. I'm probably the first person in Microsoft Flight Simulator that's actually landed here. Okay, looks like we passed it up right there, and there looks like a flattened out plane right there from a satellite photo. So we'll go ahead and see if we can't just park our plane there. So we go ahead. Got quite a side wind there. Making it hard to steer. Using my rudder pedals and also my yoke here. Go ahead and just park right here, explore a little bit, and then call it a night. So that other photographed plane, I think, is in this area here somewhere. Yeah, maybe not. There it is. Well, there we are, right next to the satellite plane here. Go ahead. Take it out a little bit here. That's about the same. Pretty good dimensions there. So let's go ahead and shut everything down. And of course, pitot heat wasn't necessary at all. Go ahead and we'll go ahead and contact the local guide here and let them know that we are here and we are ready to explore here in Bahia de Los Angeles Airport. And we'll go ahead and see if we can get some tourism set up. The ecotourism and nature education, Bahia de Los Angeles. There's a combined natural history museum and a cultural history museum in the community. So we'll get the tour guides there, and we will talk about touring this area right here, and then talk about the island over there. And there we are. I guess you can see right here along the coast at 6. You can see some of the city right here, right along the coast. Can you imagine some of the views that they have over here? Alrighty, well, that's it. It's another flight here, Microsoft Flight Simulator, on our quest to go to South America, to the southern tip of South America and back. And you know, the one thing that I have to keep in mind is that, you know, we're heading into summer here, but going to South America to the southern tip, probably when we get there, it'll be in the middle of the winter. So weather-wise, it could get pretty interesting. But that's another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator, going from San Quintin to Bahia de Los Angeles Airport. Have a good night, everyone.